Hello cookbook friends and welcome to the Cookbook Divas YouTube channel. My name is Katie and today I wanted to take you through Mr. Zhu's in Chinatown. This is by Brandon Zhu and Tienlon Ho. I'm really excited because as some of you know, I love Chinese cooking. It is one of my favorite things that I grew up with, and it's hard for me to find Chinese restaurants that are willing to give me gluten-free food because a lot of it does have a lot of gluten in it. So I'm always on the search for a fantastic Chinese cookbook, and I think this one might be it. I try to adapt all my recipes myself to be gluten-free because that's kind of truly the only thing I can do. I attempt it. But this is really cool because Mr. Zhu's is in Chinatown in San Francisco, and I think they opened up maybe 2019. It's been a big, long process, but they are trying, there's a lot of Chinese American cuisine out there. We all know a lot of the common recipes, but then there's a lot of work involved, and there's a lot of authenticity there in the food that I think a lot of us don't really know about. This cookbook is cool because we learn about the restaurant, the history, Brandon Zhu, all these things. We also kind of learn the complexity of the food. It's not quite as simple as that it seems. And yeah, I like that there's a variety of different kinds of recipes in here that are from very difficult to pretty simple. So we're going to just kind of dive right in. We see San Francisco right here. I've only been there once, but it's so memorable. And I've been to Chinatown. So we have in here, it's divided into interesting sections. So the new Chinatown pantry, we've got bites, soup, vegetables, seafood, meat and barbecue, rice, dessert, and banquets and parties. Very cool. I like how big and bold these are so you guys can see it all. So let's see wow, okay, so this is kind of a map of old Chinatown. That's so crazy. And this is from 1929. So these recipes, I know it's like, oh, they're Chinese American recipes. These are a part of, this is America. This is a part of America, and it's a whole new culture. And learning what they cook in Chinatown is amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. So I like that they've given us the new pantry for Chinatown and photos so that we can actually see exactly what we might need. And that's all listed here. We have different chef note prepping tips like bone prep, roasting, simmering, salting, blanching, just a lot of interesting tips in here to make really cool recipes from scratch, even stocks and sauces too. Very important. So you don't necessarily have to buy it, because I know a lot of people can't find a lot of these ingredients at the grocery store. So learning how to make them at home, you can buy things on Amazon and then just make it at home. That would be just as awesome, if not better. So let's look at some of these recipes here. As you might be able to tell, we have here on the corner little dots. You can kind of see them throughout. And those are indicators for the chapters. If you're like me, I'm a visual person, but this makes it really easy to navigate the cookbook so you can figure out, oh, am I in the meat section? And then the color coordinated, dot. So we have spicy crispy peanuts. This is in your sides chapter. Ooh, this is really, I wish there wasn't so much glare, but this is a beautiful green, like a matcha green. This is very pretty sides. This is a sourdough green onion pancakes. It's not matcha at all, but it's really cool. And they're actually kind of involved because you're learning how to make a green onion powder. There's leavening. It's an actual bread. This is really cool. Something a little simpler, orange chicken wings. Super good. 4 seasons of pot stickers. And this is why I need to learn how to do this gluten-free. So let's move on a little bit. There's a lot of really cool sides that are a variety of like vegetables, meats, all that stuff. This is a sea urchin Chengfang, I have not had this before. It looks really good. I actually like sea urchin. I think it's pretty tasty. So we've got in the vegetable section, which is conveniently green for vegetables. Isn't the photography just absolutely beautiful? I love showcasing all these gorgeous root vegetables, leafy greens, just so cool. So this is a mustard seed green, or a mustard green salad with spiced walnuts. They even have, so I really like in here, so this is a Mandarin and Chinese almond salad. You'll see right here, there's some chef's notes throughout the cookbook. So this one is talking more about cornstarch, and this is important for people like me with gluten allergies. Rather than thickening things up, you can with flour, you can thicken it up with cornstarch. That is a common thing in a lot of Asian cooking. You learn thickening, coating, and saucing, velvet, so starch and velvet. So it's really cool. We also have in here, this is a whole chart on leafy greens and stemmed greens, all of your vegetables, like what it's good with, different seasonings you can use, different street names, how you should find, like what is the best way these things should look. So what's the freshest look, what kind of oil, you know, things, so much detail in here. So we're still in the vegetable section. So we've got mugu gai pan, goodness, sorry, black olive and fermented mustard green relish. That sounds really good. Mouth-watering tomatoes and lang fen. Wow, that is just a beautiful photo. All right, so we're moving into more of the fish. You can see this is just a beautiful picture of, I believe, a trout. This is salt-baked trout. There's not a whole lot of fish recipes I'm noticing. Salt and pepper squid. Again, this is a very simple recipe, but you'll see as we kind of move on, you know, throughout the book, there's a here and there, easy, complicated. So you can really grow with this cookbook. 4 C's crispy chicken. This looks more, I mean, this is a little more complicated than it actually looks. There's quite a few details in here, like different sides. As you can see, there's these chips. So I like, and they give you actual photography on what each step looks like, including the number, like which step is what. Here's number 1, 2, 3. That's really helpful. I've noticed with a lot of cookbooks that are based on restaurants, they tend to be really complicated, or they seem really unapproachable. This one, on the other hand, is very nice because you can grow with the cookbook. So if you're not a seasoned chef, you can go ahead and learn how to cook some of the more easier dishes and then build up to that. And you get a visualization of what certain things, certain techniques actually look like. And you'll see that with this. So they intentionally wanted us to learn what it means to kind of make this looks like a sausage. Let's see if I can find it. It's a white cut chicken galantine. I'm not really in, wow, okay, so this is the end result of this dish, but to get to that point, they teach you how to break down the chicken step by step so that you know, and you can make this all by yourself if you are a very seasoned chef. And this is really cool because you learn these dishes are very complicated. There's a lot that goes into them, and it's not as easy as it seems. And I just really appreciate the authenticity there that they're trying to give us. But then we also have more simpler things that go along with that too. Oh, this looks really good. Let's see it. Let me go a little further. So we have steak fried rice again with photos. If you've not approached fried rice before, this is kind of helpful because it's so quick and it's nice to have an overview. So here's some desserts you will find. There's a coffee crunch cake. This looks really good. Frozen whipped honey. So now we're getting a little more fancy. Some of us don't have a lot of these ingredients readily available. And then at the very end, there's Banquets and Parties. So this is kind of like your way of planning a big dinner if you wanted to with this cookbook entirely. So you know exactly, it gives you like what page everything is on, what you're going to want. So there's like hot pot, there's mains, all of these things that kind of go together. And that's really, really helpful. And it even gives you just like, ooh, it even gives you drinks in here. But here's ultimately like a big table setting for all of your friends and family to share. So I really enjoy this cookbook. It's really cool. It is complicated in a lot of aspects, but there are easy recipes. If you want to learn, like go into depth with American Chinese cooking, this is the cookbook you'd want to check out. They're very honest and authentic. I really enjoy it. It's just really cool. So that's Mr. Zhu's Kitchen. This is by Brandon Zhu and Tienlon Ho. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to comment and subscribe down below. We want to know what cookbooks you want us to look through next. Also, if you want to see other cookbook content, come join us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and we even do a blog so that you guys can see some of the newer cookbooks coming out. And older cookbooks too. We find a lot of really cool vintage cookbooks. We also do cookbook classes, and they're all free virtual classes if you guys are interested. That includes like Betty Crocker. We have currently right now more of a literary cookbook that focuses on World War II, so it's really cool. Come check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.